Let's welcome the fourth speaker. The fourth speaker is Ms. Masumi Kanada. Her speech title is A Second, a Change. A Second, a Change. So, Ms. Kanada, please.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony and honorable judges. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have experienced a big turning point in my life. It was about 2 years ago. I had graduated from something that I was for 16 years, a student. And finally, I became a part of the society. But as I work, I noticed that there's some things that I gained and some things that I lost. Let me introduce them. The things that I gained are money, of course, skills as a business person, and sadly, some fat around my stomach. On the other hand, the things that I lost are free time, smooth skin, and last but not least, a moment to be thankful. Expressing the feelings of gratitude. It is so taken for granted, and we were taught that saying thank you is important since we're a very small child. You might be tired of hearing this phrase, I know, but the reason why I am giving this speech anyway is because I noticed that after we become a part of the society, we tend to forget that our life is supported by so many people and lack thankfulness. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I would like you to take this time to rethink about the word thank you to make our lives a little happier. Now, here's what I noticed recently. Businessmen don't say thank you so often. Now, what made me pay attention to this matter is when I get off the bus on my way to work. When the students get off, they said, thank you, to the driver. But the businessmen in suits touched the IC card and just left. All right, now that I work, I understand. Maybe they just cannot afford to think about others because they're receiving so many emails from their bosses and clients. Or perhaps they have hangovers from the drinking party last night, which they didn't even want to go to. Yes, possibly. But what if there's a different reason? Maybe they had no idea that this situation is when they say thank you in the first place. I also noticed something else in my office. The young workers tend to say thank you more often than the elders. For example, I am with my company for 2 years, and when I opened the door or made documents and turned it into my boss replied, "Oh." But when someone in a higher position did the same thing to my boss replied, "Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for your time and about that project we were talking about." So, okay. He knows when and how to say thank you, doesn't he? I believe that what these two cases have in common is that somewhere in our heads, we tend to think that even if somebody accomplished something just as we expected, it is not worth appreciating. The bus driver, he's just doing his job. And we, the young staffs, are supposed to respect and support our bosses. Yes, we do understand that saying thank you shows politeness. We also do understand that it helps to keep good relationships between people. But as we get older, we are choosing who to appreciate. And when we recognize something as an ordinary thing, it is naturally sorted out as a matter not worth appreciating. Then, why is it so important to thank such an ordinary matter? Even if we didn't pay so much attention to gratitude, our lives would have no problem. The answer is simple. It is because not only the person who were thanked, but also yourself will feel fulfilled and happy. In the positive psychology research done at the Harvard Medical School, it was found that gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness for both. Gratitude helps people to feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. I strongly believe that gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions that you can practice in your everyday life. Surprisingly, our country gives us a lot of opportunities to appreciate the environment we're in. As I looked through the calendars to check the days written in red, it was my first time in 23 years to notice that Mother's Day and Father's Day were on Sundays. I also noticed that many of the holidays that I was looking forward to were for being thankful of what we are given. Of course, I would like you to take these days as a chance to do so. But at the same time, I do not want you to make this as a once-a-year event. Thankfulness should be a way of life for us, naturally flowing from our hearts and mouths. Basically, what I'm going to say now is fairly simple. Take a second of your time to appreciate the ordinary events around you. Say it out in words. Take off your earphone for a few seconds and say thank you when you bought something at the store or when you get off the bus or taxi. Regardless of age and position, find a moment to show gratitude to the person who has accomplished something for you. Your words of appreciation might lead to a small happiness of someone's day or a big motivation for someone to accomplish their tasks. And without noticing, this small effort may bring a great change to yourself and to the environment you are in. Just 1 second will do. Ladies and gentlemen, you can start this from today. Slip in a word of thanks to your everyday routine, and it may change the ordinary day of yours and the others around you. Thank you.
Now we have a question and answer session. Mr. Tamura, please.
Hi, Masumi-san. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm a little nervous, but I'm okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. It was an inspirational speech, and as one of the businessmen, I will say thank you more from today. Yeah, I learned a lot from this speech contest.
Really, thank you.
My boss never says thank you.
Same as my boss, I guess. Then.
No matter how hard I work for him. What should I do to make him say thank you from the bottom of his heart?
Maybe it's hard to tell him from a person in a lower position to say, oh, you should say thank you. No, that's hard. But what I believe is showing how to say thank you is important. If you have a colleague or a teammate, you should say thank you more often. And then if he looks at the situation and if the conversation's going, maybe he can, I don't know if that's true, but maybe he can also follow those conversations and say thank you.
All right, I'll do that from tomorrow. Okay. What do you say if I say, okay, I understand that saying thank you often is very important, but expressing there are other forms of expressing the feelings of gratitude, like just simply showing a smile face, or give a flower as a present, and simply return a favor by doing a better job. And action speaks louder than words. How do you argue against this statement?
I also do agree to showing in action, but the easiest way is to say thank you, I believe. That's why I made this speech. If you could show the thankfulness by other ways, that's also fine. But not saying anything, not doing anything, that is the worst case. And I believe that is what's happening in the society right now, I guess.
Is there any situation where you should not say thank you?
Not say thank you. Not say thank you. I think it's rare. Let's suppose I made a mistake in my job. Maybe that's one of the case. But if I turned in a document that I made and there were mistakes, my boss can say thank you for doing it, but there were these misses, and you can make better job out of it. I guess that's how to make. That's one of the cases where you can say thank you, and one of the negative things in the latter part, I guess.
All right. Here is your last question, and this is your 1-minute speech opportunity. Okay. Imagine that there is a small country with 100,000 people living in that country, somewhere in the world. And this country has a unique culture because nobody says thank you. Because simply there is no culture. They don't have that kind of culture of appreciation, of gratitude. So you have the opportunity to make a speech in front of a TV camera where all of the 100,000 people watching the TV, and you need to describe the concept of thank you in 1 minute. Okay. What would you say? Good luck.
All right. Imagine you have made some dinner for your family, or you made documents for your boss. And the person who has received the document or who had eaten your dinner said nothing but to finish their dinner, or just looked at the document and said, okay. That may be one case. But what if the person who has received all these documents or dinner said, thank you. Oh, you had tried really hard. I appreciate your hard work. How would you feel? I think you feel really motivated. You will try harder next time when you make some food or when you make some documents. Which way would you choose? Probably the latter one. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tamura. The Q&A